Hey guys, can you see me? Can you hear me? If you are on, same drill as always, let me know where you're from so I can see who's in the chat. And happy Sunday to everyone. I hope everyone's doing well. Sometimes I can't see the chat. Let's do the pop-out chat. Okay. Okay, I'm just checking to make sure the chat is working. Okay. Alrighty, guys, so I'm just going to jump right in. So, hey, everyone, I'm Tiff. For those of you guys who are new here, I'm an American living in Paris. I've been living here for 3 years now. And, I'm here to help you guys navigate life abroad, navigate traveling abroad, navigate, just getting out of your comfort zone and successfully setting yourself up in a new destination. I'm here to help you with all of that. And that's a lot of what I share on Instagram and on YouTube. And today I wanted to give you guys a quick update on Paris because I know I post a lot of Instagram stories and a lot of you guys are like, oh my God, is there still a curfew there? Today I really wanted to talk a lot about some of the life lessons learned from moving abroad and not just from me. So I asked on Instagram for followers to share their personal experiences and their life lessons that they've gained from moving abroad, moving to a new city, a new country, and just from going through a transitional period in life. Because I feel like last year especially was such a transitional period for a lot of us. So wanted to share with you guys some of the life lessons that they've shared with me. I think some of them are so powerful. And then after that, I want to share just a few things that I'm thinking of doing to help you guys get connected more with other followers and things like that. Because at the end of the day, yes, I moved abroad, I moved to Paris and it's amazing. But there are just some really cool stories from other followers that I think, you all could benefit from, just learning from each other and talking to each other. And who knows, maybe there are a few of you guys who do want to move to the same country. So I'm trying to kind of figure out the best way to build more of a community, if that makes sense. So kind of want to get into that. And then of course, afterwards, I will open it up for a Q&A. So I'm really going to limit this to 1 hour. I know we always go over or even less if we can, but there are a bunch of really cool life lessons that I want to share with you guys from everyone. So thank you guys so much for those of you who sent in your life lessons. I'm not sure that I'll be able to get to all of them because there was a lot. So if I don't get you in this round, don't worry. I will find a way to share just because I do think that everyone who shared really did have something powerful to say. So I'm going to share as much as I can. I'm going to share as much as I can. And for those of you guys who I don't share, don't worry. It doesn't mean that I didn't like your life lesson. It's just more so in the interest of time. So hey guys, I see you guys chatting in the live chat. Hey, so if you guys are just joining, just let me know where you're from. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I love to hear, where you guys are living and everything like that. So hey, happy Sunday. So first up, Paris, life in Paris. So as you guys have probably seen on my Instagram, we are still on curfew here in Paris. So basically we have to be inside by 6 p.m. And I mean, I'm okay with it because I don't really feel the need to be out late anyways. I mean, all of the restaurants are closed still. We have no idea when they'll open back up again. But I will say when it comes to food shopping and stuff like that, it's a hot mess because if you try and go food shopping between 5 and 6, it's literal hell. So I don't know if you guys saw on my Instagram stories yesterday, I posted a picture of just being in line at a grocery store. I think it was around 5:15, 5:30. And I was just like, this is insane. Like, to me, it's almost worse than like when our lockdown first started last March. Like, the lines were just crazy. But other than that, it's been fine. Someone said I'm a hermit anyways. Same kind of. I feel like I'm such an introvert lately, honestly. Like, I mean, I go out when I can and I see friends when I can, but it's not like I don't know. I'm like enjoying spending time at home, if that makes sense. But that's more or less the situation in Paris right now. There have been a lot of talks around us going into a third lockdown, but I've honestly been hearing this since beginning of February. So I'm not sure what will go. I'm not sure what will happen there. I've also heard that we could go into a weekend lockdown. So really not being able to leave our houses during the weekend for around 6 weeks, but who knows? And this is not a news outlet, so definitely do your research if you want to learn more about exactly what's going on. But this is just kind of what I've heard and what I've seen on the news and things like that. So that's kind of just a quick update on Paris. So yes, we are still, riding this wave with the curfew, with there possibly being a lockdown. I do not know when all of this is going to end out here, but I think the nice thing is it doesn't feel as restricted as it was like when we first went into this, honestly. Like, I don't feel, like I can't really do things. I actually go out more because I got a WeWork space. So I'm working, I try to work out of WeWork now. I mean, I literally just got it last week, but I'm trying to, get out of the house more and work just because, I don't know, it's like we've been kind of through this for a year now, and it's been so hard for me to just stay at home and focus and get things done. So they do have WeWork in Paris. So now during the week, I'm trying to go to WeWork at least until 6 p.m. or like 5:30 p.m., get some work done, and then come home. I feel like for me personally, it just really helps me break up my day so that, I don't feel like it's just this long day where I'm sitting on the couch working. I wake up, do my little workout. Oh my gosh, the size workout, guys. I don't know if any of you guys have done a Shanti workout, but oh my God, the very first day I did it, like my shoulders were in pain, my back was in pain. I was like, what did I just get myself into? So I do that in the morning, and then we'll make myself a little breakfast and then go to WeWork. Usually we'll spend the day there and then come home and relax. So it's kind of been nice to just break up my day in that way, having like a co-working space to go to. And trust and believe, like before I signed up for it, like I asked all the questions just about safety measures and what are they doing to make sure the facilities are clean. And they had a lot of really great things to say. Of course, like everyone is social distanced for sure. And honestly, every time I go, there's not really, people are there, but it's not packed. Like, I don't know if you guys saw my Instagram story from earlier this week, but at a location I went to, I literally have the floor to myself. Like, there was really no one else on the floor. So I definitely feel safe. I wouldn't have done it if I didn't feel safe. People wear their masks inside and everything like that and when they're walking around. But for me, I just really needed a space to just clear my mind and be in the zone and get work done. So I have been going out doing that. But other than that, for me, it's either I'm at home, I'm at WeWork, I'm at the grocery store, and that's pretty much it. So that's a little bit about what's going on in Paris. So now let's get into some of the life lessons that you guys have shared with me. There were so many great ones, and feel free to comment on these life lessons in the chat. So I'm going to shout out the Instagram handle of the person that shared, and I would really, really appreciate it if you guys could show them some love on their Instagram account, or if any of you guys have I don't think anyone who shared has a YouTube channel, but if you do and I just missed it, let me know so I can share that. But you guys were so sweet with all of your lessons, and I'm so excited to share. All right, so let's get into it. I tried to organize this as best as I could. But okay, so this first one is from Miss Gabby Nicole. So Gabby, I'm not sure if you're on. So Gabby moved from Indianapolis to Toulon. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. I really hope I am. But it's a city in France near Marseille. So Gabby says, my life lesson is that the best things are found on the other side of fear. Throw yourself out there without fear and see what sticks. Moving abroad is trial and error, but you have to make the first step. You won't regret anything. So I 1,000% agree with Gabby on this, and I'm going to give you guys her Instagram handle here. Yeah, so I'm gonna give you. So I just put her Instagram handle in the chat. So I would love if you guys could show her some love. But I completely agree. And you guys, who have been following me for a little while, kind of know that moving to Paris was not easy for me. It was really scary. There were so many people telling me not to do it. So many people who were concerned, and I think I just got to the point where I was like, Tiff, if this is really what you want to do, if you're feeling it in your heart, just do it. And I took the leap. It was not easy, but I did, and I'm so grateful that I did. And honestly, it's also why, kind of one of the first tools that I launched for you guys was the Move Abroad Mindset Guide, and just kind of helping you, basically just prompts to help you get over your fear, push past doubt and guilt, because it is something that I struggled with when I first decided to make the move and I wasn't sure. But I think, once you get over that hump, I won't say it's smooth sailing, but you just feel so much more empowered. And, it does make your life a lot easier when you're doing it, knowing that it's right for you, knowing that you kind of push past that fear and that you just took the leap. So if you guys haven't already, definitely get that Move Abroad Mindset Guide. It's completely free, so free of charge. I did just want to give you guys something to kind of clear your mind, push past fear. So I 1,000% agree with Gabby. Okay. So the next person is Miss Jillian Marie. So Jillian says, Jillian says, what I've learned from life transitions is to be genuinely grateful for every good and beautiful thing life has to offer, including being grateful for the constant opportunity and ability to change, adapt, learn, and grow. I've also learned to always trust my intuition, which has guided me towards a life that looks brighter every day. Oh my God, that's so sweet. So thank you, Jillian, if you're on, so much for sharing. So here's her handle. So I love this one, especially because, last year was such a transitional year for so many of us. And I totally agree with her on trusting intuition. It's something that I've been leaning in more to as of late. Absolutely. But yes, be grateful for all that life has to offer, even the bad things, because I feel like some of the worst experiences you can have in life will set you up for major blessings and major wins. So thank you, Gabby, so much for sharing. If you're on, guys, please show her some love. So, sorry, my lips feel weird because of this matte lipstick I have on. Okay, so next person is Sincerely Simi. So she moved from Paris. She moved to Paris from Texas. So Simi, thank you for your share. Another girl living in Paris. So Simi says, something I learned from moving to Paris back in 2019 was to really take my time to get to know who people really are before calling them friends. I felt so naive and lonely when I first came that, of course, I gravitated towards familiar types of people. And as you might recognize, as Americans, we often try to call everyone a friend. Even if they are more of an acquaintance. My most important growing pain or lesson was that I didn't need to force friendships with anyone, and that people can be nice, but I don't have to be best friends with them if we just don't click. It took a year, but I finally found real friends in the city, and truly the people make a place more like home. Oh, that was so beautiful. Thank you, Simi, for sharing. So I think this is a really good one too, because for those of you guys who have moved abroad, and for any of you guys who maybe haven't yet and have seen some of my videos, when you move abroad, especially alone for the first time, it can be lonely, when you don't yet have a circle of really good friends, when you haven't yet made those connections. And I totally agree with her. It's sometimes when you find yourself in this position where you're alone and you don't really have that many friends, it kind of makes you a bit more eager just to make friends, and without maybe really understanding who someone really is. And that can be tough, like when you're kind of like, okay, let me be friends. And then maybe the person screws you over, or maybe you realize 6 months in it's not a good fit. Which, I mean, it's not like you're dating the person so you can leave. But, I think this is really powerful because I don't know about you guys, but for me, like my friends are home. Like my friends are everything. Like my friends like lift me up. When I'm down, and I think it's so important, as we grow older to, really have those people around that are your support system and who make you feel good. And I feel like, sometimes when you move abroad alone and you're just kind of looking for that connection, you can kind of gravitate towards anyone. But I do agree with her, like take your time on choosing your friends, on understanding who you are. And I think she's also right that sometimes us as Americans like to call everyone our friend, even if they're not necessarily someone who we actually have a real connection with. It might just be someone we know. So definitely pay attention to that. I think that this is such a powerful share. So thank you, Simi, for sharing. Cool. So next up, we have, let's see, Sophia. So Sophia, also moved to Paris from Seattle. So let's see. Sophia says, I've only been here for 3 months, but I think what I've learned so far is that you need to stay open to new people and experiences. Don't be afraid to take chances, explore new things, not only experiences, but your own priorities and goals. I like that. I completely agree. And I love the piece about staying open because, as you guys probably know, again, from seeing my videos, like one of my really good friends here, I just met so randomly, like on a subway platform. And I feel like if I wasn't just open to all that the city has to offer and just open to meeting new people, who knows if that would have happened if I was super closed off. And, when you find yourself in a new country, it's like there are so many culture shocks and things that don't make sense to you, if you're coming from a different country, and things that you need to adapt to. But I completely agree with her on just staying open and also understanding yourself more, because I personally feel like I've grown so much, so much just from this experience of moving to Paris. And it's allowed me to focus on like what I really want out of life. And sometimes I think too, it's like once you remove yourself from a place that you're familiar with, once you remove yourself from the people that you're familiar with, it really makes you almost tap more into yourself and figure out, okay, I'm not around, the people who I'm accustomed to anymore and everything like that. What do I really want? What's for me? So Sophia, thank you so much for sharing. All right. Next up is Missy. So Missy says she lived in the Czech Republic for 6 years playing tennis. She was one of 6 Black people in a tiny town called Prostějov. Sorry if I'm pronouncing this wrong. Currently, she's rediscovering the importance of self-care after having 2 kids and trying to remind all women, mostly Black, how important it is. So thank you, Missy, for your share. Oh, she's on. Hey, Missy, thank you so much for your share. So show her some love, guys. So I really loved this one. Wow, that you were there like for 6 years and playing tennis, like that's super cool. And this reminded me of a movie that I just watched. I don't know if you guys have seen the French movie African Doctor. It's based in, I think, around like 1975 or so, where this African doctor and their family moved to a very small village in France, and they're literally the only Black people in the village. And this was in 1975, so not too long ago. But the people in the village just like they had never really seen a Black person before. They were just so not accepting of him and his family at first. A lot of them didn't want him to be his doctor. And it's like you see how this African family really struggled at first to fit into this community. I highly encourage you guys to watch this movie if you haven't already. So yeah, that just made me think of that movie when you said, you were one of 6 Black people in a tiny town. Highly recommend you watching that, guys, because you see, sometimes how tough it is for African people, Black people to integrate into a predominantly white society or community. And it's just powerful when you see like the things that they go through and how they overcame it, and how, well, I don't want to give it away. So I won't tell the end of the movie. You guys should watch it. Also, I'm definitely going to do another actual sit down video on my favorite my favorite French Netflix shows and movies. But yeah, I can see how that can be tough, Missy. I can absolutely see how that can be really tough. Girl, you made it 6 years. And I love that you're now kind of figuring out yourself and rediscovering the importance of self-care, which is so important for all of us, just to take care of ourselves. And I feel like a lot of us kind of, after last year and just being inside, and, I feel like it's kind of been a priority for a lot of us. So thank you, Missy, so much for your share. Okay, so next up is Meghna. So hi, Meghna, if you're on. So she moved from India to Germany, and she says she moved to Germany on her own. She found a job, got a visa. There was an extreme culture shock, lonely every now and then, but in the end, it was all worth it. So thank you, Meghna, for sharing. So here's her handle. So I feel you, girl, this culture shock when it comes to moving to a new country. Guys, when I tell you the very first night that I was in France in my college dorm, like I cried, like I boohoo cried. I was literally like, what did I just do? Why am I here? Did I really give up on everything? Everything's so different here. I mean, even going grocery shopping for the first time, like I literally almost had a mental breakdown just because things were so different. Like I didn't know like what things were similar to what was in the United States. It was really hard for me at first. So I can definitely understand the culture shock. I can definitely understand being lonely, but agree that it is absolutely worth it in the end. So thank you, Megan, so much for sharing. And then I'm just going to share a few more, guys. So this one is from actually a friend of mine, my friend Chell. She actually did the MBA program with me. So she says, so these are kind of shorter ones. So she says, sometimes the dream of moving abroad is more glamorous in your head. Move abroad with an open mind and ear. So I love this one, you guys. I really do. Because she's right. Like, I feel like sometimes, people even sometimes see other people moving abroad and are like, oh my God, that's so great. And oh my gosh, I want to do that. And oh my God, like, but make sure you really understand what you're getting yourself into. And also just stay open. I think moving abroad, again, as you guys have heard me say so many times, it comes with a lot of research, hustle. It's not always the easiest thing, and it is absolutely worth it. But keep your mind open, keep your heart open. And, when you move abroad, don't, just expect the fun, shiny things. You are going to have to also go through the not so fun things that always come up when you're a foreigner, even just when you're jumping outside of your comfort zone. So I love that. Thank you for sharing. All righty. Let's see. Oh, sorry. I just have to minimize this so I can see the rest of these. Okay, so Bree says, please and thank you go a long way in any language. When I went to Paris, and that's all I knew to say, and it helped. So I agree with you. When you're moving to a new country and you don't know the language that well, at least try and pick up some of the basic words. Go a long way. And I think I said this in my video about the common mistakes that tourists make is kind of coming and like not knowing anything. And I get it. French is a hard language. Y'all know my struggle with this language. But if you can at least pick up a few words just to communicate a bit with the people in the new country, it definitely helps a lot. So here's her IG. And I think there was another one about language. Yeah, so this is from Chanel. Sorry, some of these I don't have typed up, so I'm just typing them to you here. So she says, try to know some French, I guess, when you're coming to France, or I think in general, again, when you're moving to any country, try and learn a bit of the language. So she says that people looked at her crazy, asking for help in English. Where's the second one? She almost got stuck and missed her stop on the Euro train, trying to meet someone because of it. Basically, they shut the train doors and she couldn't read any signs to open it, and she was just yelling for help. Oh no. She also got kicked out of her seat because she let a French man convince her in French that it was his. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So case in point, learn some of the language if you can. Thank you so much, Chanel, for sharing. I know. Poor thing. But I know that struggle. I know that struggle. Okay, so this next one is from Michael. Michael, I think I saw you in the chat. Michael. So this next one is from Michael. I saw you in the chat. Hey, hey, hey. So he is currently in Puerto Rico. So he moved to Puerto Rico. So he says, since moving to Puerto Rico, I've learned a lot. One thing I've learned is that people are taxed more there than in the continental United States. Another is the cost of living in certain aspects is much lower in Puerto Rico than in the United States. Another is that the pace of living is slower than in the US. And he's also learned how to adapt to different situations since being a resident there for 6 months. So Michael, since you're on, maybe let us know a few of the situations that you've had to adapt to. I think it'd be really interesting for people to hear that. But yeah, I think, when you move to a new country, it is different compared to the United States. Like you guys have, I don't know if you guys saw my video on cost of living in France, but it does seem a lot lower than the United States, but the salaries here are also a lot higher. And I have also heard, I don't know, I've heard that the salaries are a lot lower, like up to, 40, almost 50% lower than those in the United States. So it's, it's definitely, you got to adapt to how things are done in different countries. So thank you, Michael, so much for sharing. And if you have a minute, would love to hear maybe some of the situations that you've had to adapt to just living in Puerto Rico. I'm sure so many people would love to hear your story and what you've gone through. So thank you so much for sharing. And here's his IG. Okay, so he says, having to deal with government offices, oh my God, same in France, in which they move very slow, very, very slow, and the technology is very old. Interesting. It's very similar to France, honestly, just dealing with the government. Y'all know my story with just, waiting on my visa for like almost a year. Granted, we are going through a lot in this world right now, but I was just like, oh my gosh, like a year, this is crazy. So yes, same for France. It's very, very slow here. And I've also noticed too, it's funny that you say the piece about technology, because I noticed here in France, like a lot of things you still have to submit by mail, like a letter. Like, for example, I remember when my friend was leaving after our MBA, she was leaving to go back to the States, and she wanted to cancel her, what's it called? Her cell phone plan. And she was like thinking that she could just go online and cancel it. And they were like, no, you have to send like a written letter to the cell phone company explaining why you want to cancel your plan and all of this stuff. I was like, what? This is crazy. So she had to do all of that. And I was like, geez, like there isn't just like a button you can click to cancel this. So I definitely agree with you, Michael. I definitely do. Okay. Thank you, Michael, for sharing. Okay, just a few more I'm gonna do. Sorry, I don't think I'm gonna get through all of them, as I said before, but I feel like there was one other one I think I might have missed. I remember saving it. Sorry, I'm just looking on my phone because I remember seeing, oh, here it is. this it? Sorry, guys. So this one is from Victoria. So Victoria, I don't know if you're on right now. So she says a life lesson that she's learned from traveling is to be brave with caution, of course. So she went on a trip to Thailand, and one of her dreams came true when she went to an elephant sanctuary. That's really cool. At the end of the day, they were able to relax by the water, and some people were even jumping off a mini cliff. It's something that she's always wanted to do, but for some reason didn't, because she's not the best swimmer, although she's taking lessons. Anywho, with the help of a stranger waiting for her in the water, she mustered up the courage and jumped, which was so awesome and freeing. She also says another lesson is try not to look back because you aren't going that way. I love that. So Victoria, if you're on, thank you so much for sharing. And that's cool. You know, I do sometimes think that, you know, moving abroad, it really just takes you out of your comfort zone. And I love that you did something new that you hadn't tried before. I mean, I know it can be scary. And actually, oh wait, let me give you guys her Instagram handle. Vicky, if you guys want to show her some love, please. I actually have a similar story to that, where I was actually in the Virgin Islands. So I think I've told you guys before that I have a lot of family in the islands. It's where my dad's originally from. And we had done this like day on a boat where we were visiting the different islands. And kind of in the middle of our trip, when we were on the boat, there was this like bar boat, I guess you could say. So it's basically a bar in the middle of the ocean that you can only access by boat. So we were all excited, and we saw so many people jumping off the boat and into the water. And this boat was pretty high. And I will never forget, me and my sister were like, oh my God, should we do it? Should we do it? Should we do it? So her and my cousin jumped first. And you guys, I am so afraid of heights. Like, it is just not my thing. But her and my cousin jumped first. And I remember being like, oh my God, I'm going to throw up. I cannot do this. I cannot do this. I cannot do this. Literally, I think my dad said like, Tiff, just go for it. Just go for it. And all of a sudden, the entire crowd of people starts yelling, Tiff, 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 Tiff. Like, oh my God, I'll have to try and find the video, because they took a video of it, and I'll post it on Instagram. And I was like, oh my God, like peer pressure at its finest. And then all of a sudden they just started doing a countdown. And like 10 seconds later, I was in the water. But it was really scary. It was really scary. So Victoria, I feel you, girl. You jumped out of your comfort zone and did something that you don't normally do. And I'm glad that it was freeing for you. All right. Okay. I'm going to pick one more because I also want to leave time for Q&A. Oh, this is a good one. Well, they're all really good, but I think this is a good one to end on. So let me just type, oh my God, the crowd cheering. Like, I was like, are you guys kidding me right now? But I did it, and it was really scary. Boundless mind of mine. Okay, so this person says, don't worry about what people don't like about what you are doing. Excuse me. I think that that's a great way to end some of these life lessons, because when you want to move abroad, when you want to do something that people aren't familiar with, expect people to come out maybe not being excited for you, or concerned or cautious or fearful. But I completely agree. Do not worry about what they don't like about it. Don't worry about what they say. If you know that it's meant for you, it's what you're supposed to be doing. And I'll give you guys a few examples. Like, I remember when I first wanted to move to Paris, and even after I moved and just kind of going back to the United States, like, I got people that were even saying things to me like, oh, well, I never liked Paris, and it's just like, well, that's fine for you, but I live here and I really like it, Or I would have people say like, are you sure it's really safe there? Like, just not so nice comments, and some comments that were very fearful about what I was doing. And I don't know, like, those comments that just kind of like rub you the wrong way. But then what I realized is that sometimes when you make a major change in life, I think a few things happen. One, there are some people who look at you like, oh my gosh, I wish I could do that. There are some people who look at you like, oh, she's doing this, I should have done this. Then, of course, you have the people who are excited for you and inspired by you. It's almost like you just gotta, just be careful about who you share your dreams to, and make sure that the people you're sharing them with are people who are going to support you and be excited for you. Excuse me. Because just like this person says, it's like, everyone might not be cheering for you when you decide to make a big move or do something that's out of your comfort zone. I just feel like sometimes the way people respond to what you're doing also isn't even a reflection on what you're doing, but it's more a reflection on them and maybe their internal struggle with something or their insecurity or whatever it may be. So just something to keep in mind, I think, when it comes to telling people about what you're doing. I mean, definitely share if that's what you have in your heart, but I guess I would say don't be attached to their reaction. I think that's what I want to say. Because 9 times out of 10, it doesn't have anything to do with you. It might just have to do with what they're feeling inside. So I love leaving on that note. You guys know I am here for you, and I'm your biggest cheerleader when it comes to all things moving abroad. I'm like, go for it. I, again, have had such an amazing experience here. I love all of these life lessons. Thank you guys so much for sharing. They're just so powerful. And let me know if you guys like this format, because I really do want to start offering my platform more for you guys to share your stories and connect with each other. Oh, which brings me to, and something I wanted to ask you guys if you'd be down for this. So, because there have been some people reaching out to me about this, is me creating a Patreon. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Patreon. I'm kind of still very new to it, but I thought it could be something that could be really cool to kind of build community. What I'm thinking right now, so I know that usually people have like 3 tiers for the Patreon. I was kind of thinking having one tier be like access to a Facebook group, or just something where you guys can connect with each other. Something where maybe I share like updates. Someone said, make that money. I love it. Someone says, I've heard of it, but don't really. Okay, so Victoria says, I've heard of it, but don't really know what it is. So Patreon, it's basically a way for people to support their favorite creators in a way where they're also giving you access to extra content, I guess you could say. Every creator does it differently, but what I've typically seen is that there are 3 tiers. If you want to support a creator, if you just want, more content or access to community or calls or things like that. So, for example, and this is kind of just judging off of like what I've seen, not to say that this is exactly what I'll follow, but for example, I've seen creators have a tier where it's like €4. So that would mean you essentially pay €4 a month for like exclusive content. And then the next tier is like €10, like €10 or $10 a month, where you pay to support the creator, but then you get access to like a Facebook group or I don't know, just like other really cool things. And then the next tier, say it's maybe like $15 or $17, and you get access to even cooler things. Like, I don't know, maybe you help them pick the next location for their video, or maybe you, I don't know, I'm just making this up because I really don't know what I'm going to do for it yet. But, well, I was actually thinking, guys, honestly, for one of the tiers to be monthly Zoom calls. And I think that this would probably be the most expensive tier. So maybe that kind of $15 to $17 or euro range, where we do things like this, but you guys are actually able to share like on camera, like with me, like your stories, or things like that. Cause I don't know, I really want to meet you guys. Like, all of you guys just seem so cool. I'm actually really sad that I haven't been able to do an actual meetup. in Paris for some of you guys that do live here because of all that's going on right now. And that is something that I really want to do once things are safe. But I was thinking, maybe just having a monthly Zoom call where we do things like this and maybe share life lessons or share maybe fears you guys have about moving abroad, or, just helping you guys connect with other people who have made the move or who want to move. I actually saw recently in the comments of one of my videos, someone had asked like, hey, I'm moving to Paris. Is anyone else moving? I'm looking for a roommate. And I would love to have, a community where you guys can just ask other people in the community, like, hey, is anyone else moving here? Looking for a roommate or something like that. I think that could be really cool. So it's just something that I'm thinking of. Yes, I've heard that Patreon is a lot of work and time for sure. But I think if it's content that could actually benefit you guys, like those who are really serious about moving abroad, that could be cool. And I was also thinking probably for the highest tier too, like offering a discount on my courses and other tools that I have coming out to help you move abroad and navigate life in Paris. So I would definitely want to make sure it's beneficial to you guys. And yes, I appreciate the support, like monetary support, but also want to be able to give you guys back something that is valuable. So let me know what you guys think about that. And if you would be willing to do like, what do you guys think? Like, do the monthly Zoom calls sound like something you'd want to do? Like if it was, like me getting on with you once a month, live Q&A, like where we just chat about, I don't know, what's going on in Paris, life lessons, things like that. Okay, you guys like the monthly calls, monthly Zoom calls, all this Black Girl Magic, Tiffany. Thank you. And what about like the community, like maybe a Facebook group, or I need to look into like other community platforms, but what do you think about that? Someone says, I'm a part of a lot of groups, Patreons, and I can't keep up. I understand. Okay, someone says that would be nice. Yeah, like let me know how I can like better help you guys. If a community is kind of something that you are looking for. Like I love, seeing how you guys interact within the chat with each other and everything. So I think Discord would be good too, so people can help each other out, especially because people might live in other cities. What do you mean? I think Discord would be good. I don't know if I'm understanding. Oh, someone said they joined a Facebook page to help me with French. That's cool. Yeah, and I'm thinking of just posting like resources that I'm using to like learn things. I don't know. Sorry guys, I feel like I'm rambling because I don't really have it all hashed out in my mind yet, but I think it's something that I kind of do want to do if you guys think it will benefit you and you'll find value in it. Because yes, it is a lot of work, but just want to be able to set you guys up for success in your travel abroad adventures, move abroad adventures, things of that sort. Oh, Discord is a live platform. Oh, I haven't heard of that. Okay, I will look into that. Someone says they like a group option. So yeah, I feel like it'll be different tiers. Like one might be more content, one might be the Facebook group, and then the next tier would be like you get everything, like the Facebook group, monthly Zoom calls, things like that. Yes. Oh my gosh. I would love if you guys could brainstorm with me, please. If you guys have any ideas, just shoot me a DM. I'd love to hear from you if you guys have any ideas. And also, if you guys are on my email list, you can also shoot me an email with your ideas too. So now we are at the 43-minute mark. So now I'm going to open it up to Q&A. So if you guys have any questions for me, let me know. If you guys are still thinking about moving abroad and all that fun stuff. Someone said, is racism alive in France? Racism is definitely here. I think I talked about this in the Black in Paris versus Black in America video. It's definitely here. I just think it's a lot more subtle than what we experience in America. But yes, it is absolutely here. I keep hearing about Discord. Oh, you can chat, live calls, live cam. Oh, that's so cool. That's really cool. Okay, so Dustin says, I have sent resumes for overseas jobs, but I wanted to know how long should you wait to respond back after submitting a resume? That's a really good question. I mean, my approach was similar to the approach that I took in the United States, like every 7 to 10 days. I was following up. I think especially when you are trying to find a job overseas, like hustle, 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 follow up as much as you can. Don't be annoying. Like I wouldn't do it every single day, but like every week or so, hey, I sent in my resume. Have you heard from me? Also try and find the HR contact on LinkedIn and see if you can wiggle your way in that way. But don't wait. Don't let your resume sit there. If you haven't heard back, speak up and follow up for sure. I hope that helps. What arrondissement do you recommend to live in Paris? There are so many that I love. I feel like right now I'm really loving the ninth. I really love the ninth. Well, these are also kind of the more affordable places to live too. In my opinion, the more fun arrondissements. So I would say the ninth is cool. The 12th is cool, kind of near the 11th and 12th, kind of like near Republique. The 18th. I think certain parts of the 10th are cool, but just be careful. Like I wouldn't recommend anywhere near like Chateau d'Eau. Where else do I like? I love the 7th, but it is expensive. But it's just so pretty there. I love the 7th. Where else would I live? I think that's all I can think of right now, but maybe I'll do a video on like my favorite arrondissements or something. What else? Oh, someone said if you do Discord, make sure attach it to the Patreon. Otherwise, you'll get all. Oh, got it. Thanks for the heads up. What about the 19th? I honestly haven't explored the 19th too much, but I have gone to a really beautiful park in the 19th. Like it's huge and it's amazing. It's called, hold on, let me get the name of it for you. Parc des Buttes Chaumont. It's in the 19th and oh my God, it's amazing. But like that's as far as me going into the 19th has gone so far. So that's all I can really share. I have heard it's not really the safest place to be, if I'm being completely honest with you guys, but this is just coming from what I've heard. I've never had trouble when I go there and go to this park, but just something to note. What's the most dangerous part of Paris? This is a good question. Honestly, guys, I will say that, and I think I also said this in my video on some of the mistakes that tourists make, is that Paris is a little bit different from, for example, I can only compare it to the United States because that's where I lived, where, like, for example, in most places in the United States, it's usually safer to stay in the suburbs. In less safe to stay in the city. Like in Paris, they typically say it's the opposite, where there are a lot of areas in the suburbs where it's not super safe, and say that it's a lot more safe to stay in Paris. But I can't say that this is for all suburbs in Paris because I have friends that live in the suburbs in really nice areas and love it. But I have heard that like there are a lot of suburbs here that aren't really the safest places to be. So just be careful of that. What other city would I live in other than Paris? Ooh, that's a really good question. I don't know if I don't know, guys. I'm really not sure. Maybe I'll have to get back to that one. I don't know. Where are the best places for entertainment? So when you say entertainment, do you mean like going out, clubbing and partying? I would say, I'm blanking on the name of this area. Why am I blanking? It's called Bastille. That's what it is. Bastille is a really cool area to hang out in for going out. You also have Pigalle, which is really cool, like which is more of like where like the Moulin Rouge is and things like that. There's also this one place in near Republique called what's it called? I'm blanking. Called oh my God, it's literally at the tip of my tongue. Why can't I remember this name? It's called God, why can't I remember it? I'm totally blanking right now, but it's really fun. It starts with a C. Comptoir General. That's what it's called. It's kind of near Republique, and it's a really cool place to hang out. It's kind of like a bar slash, I won't call it a club, but it's like people hang out, they dance, super casual. So that's another really cool place. I hope that answers your question. And sorry, my legs are falling asleep. Ouch. Anyone else? Do you think about arranging tour guides as a host? Actually, someone recently reached out to me to do a guide for them on Paris. Some of these things I'm, thinking about. I don't know if I do like a full out, like, let me take you around Paris type of guide, but some things are in the works. Some things are in the works. So I'll get back to you guys on that. My mom wants to visit Bordeaux once we can travel again. Cool. Are you thinking about citizenship? Maybe, I think, yeah, to have citizenship, you need to have lived here for 5 years, speak the language fluently. But I have heard that for people who have actually studied in France, it's like less amount of time that you need to be here to achieve citizenship. So I actually really need to look into that. One of my friends was telling me about that. So TBD on that. Oh, someone says they want a video on my favorite arrondissement. T says that. Okay, I got you. Michael says you need to be one, yes, or virtual. Sorry, what are you referring to? I think I probably missed something in the chat. So Deborah says, I am probably a lot older than most of the people in this chat. I really want to move abroad, but feel like I missed my time. I don't know if I should take that leap. What is your opinion? Deborah, you need to take that leap. Oh my gosh. And actually, you probably aren't older than most people, because I get this question a lot from followers, is that, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm too old to move abroad. That's not true. I think that your journey is your journey. I feel like moving abroad is for anyone and everyone, regardless of how old you are. And I think the experience is what you make it. And I think it happens at the time that's right for you. So if right now is the time for you to figure out your move abroad plan so that you can move abroad in the next year, do it. I feel like we all go through life differently. I mean, like that's basically like saying, I don't know. I just think, age ain't nothing but a number. And I feel like it's the same as saying, like, I don't know, you see some people getting married in their 20s, you see some people getting married in their 30s, you see some people getting married in their 40s. Like, doesn't mean, you're never too young or too old, I think, to accomplish a dream or do something that you really want to do. So my advice to you is to absolutely go for it. If it's something that you want to do, take the leap. Come here for a few months, come here indefinitely. Because I think you'll be sad if you don't. You might regret it if you don't at all, just because you think, you kind of missed your window. I don't think when it comes to moving abroad that it's like that at all. So I hope you take the leap, and let me know if you do. Send me a DM. See, look, everyone is saying it's never too late. Come on over, Deb. Like, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Experiences are for everyone. Let's go, Deb. Let's go. So Octavia says, do they have townhomes or houses for rent, and how are the expenses for them? I'm not sure. I feel like in Paris, it's mostly apartments, to be honest with you. Maybe like in the outskirts or in other cities in France, I'm sure they have those, but I can't really speak to that too much because I've only lived in Paris. Any other questions, guys? And sorry if I missed a question. I'm kind of just scrolling through this chat pretty quickly right now. Are Parisians rude to foreigners? Oh my gosh, I get this question all of the time. I really haven't had too many issues, if I'm being honest with you. Part of me thinks that there's this stereotype around the Parisians being rude because they're just well, when I say like coming from America, they're just different. Like, for example, in America, it's like we like customer service is our thing, right? Like and even outside of customer service, like we're super friendly to everyone and everyone wants to be friends and get along. And I feel like actually I was just talking about this to with two of my really good friends about how like in the States, it's almost like we are conditioned to be super polite, super like super what's the word I'm looking for? I said polite. It's almost like we're conditioned to be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Are you okay? Like just super polite, super making sure everyone's okay, super friendly, da 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 da. And I feel like here it's just not like that. And I think that because they're not like that, I think that sometimes people think they're coming across as rude, but I think that they're just being themselves. Like it's none of this like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, like da 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 da. Let me make sure. Like it's more of just them being real. They don't like something, they don't like something. If they don't know you, they don't know you. If they don't smile in your face if they don't know you. Like, I think that's just, I think it's just a different, I think the character is just different. And I don't think it's necessarily rude. I think it's just different from what a lot of people coming from the States, I should say, have experienced. And I think it may come off as a little bit cold, but I don't think that they're like, trying to be rude, if that makes sense. I have had some instances where I was just super frustrated. Like, for example, I'll never forget one of my really good friends was in town and she got like a bloody nose or something. We were walking and I remember being so pissed. I walked into this restaurant like bonjour, like, you know, like my friend needs help. Like, can we just have a napkin or a paper towel? And he just looked at me like, well, you need to pay for a dinner. You need to sit down and eat dinner in order for us to give you a napkin. And I was just like, are you kidding me right now? As my friend is like holding her nose. So I feel like I've been super frustrated with that. You know, I do know some people complain about the service here, but I actually kind of like it. So like, you know, in the United States, like when you're going out to eat, people will constantly come to your table and make sure you're okay and bring you the bill. I feel like here it's like you order and they just kind of leave you unless you ask for something. And it was new to me at first, but now I kind of like it because it's like you don't really have someone bothering you. You also don't really have someone like rushing you out to try and get another table in. So yeah, I think the character is just different. I think the way of life is just different. I think the culture is different. Um, and when you are a foreigner, I think it's something that you kind of have to adapt to, and it is kind of a culture shock at first. But I don't think that they're intentionally trying to be rude or anything like that. I just think our cultures are just a bit different. Um, let's see. Okay, we got like 3 minutes left, friends. Just trying to get through the day. Smile a lot. So I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. Yeah, Yelanin. Americans are used to greetings. Most Europeans are just trying to get through the day. We Americans also smile a lot. What's your advice? Octavia says, what's your advice for packing for 3 people? What to pack and what to expect and what to aspect if you miss the important stuff? Um, oh gosh, I've never packed for 3 people before. I've always kind of been on my own. Uh, but I mean, if you miss something that you packed, like don't worry, because I mean you can pretty much get everything here. I feel like thinking back to when I came from the States, I feel like there were a few things that I maybe wish I had brought, like if you take certain supplements, like oh my gosh, I love this collagen powder by Vital Proteins, and it's super expensive here to get it off Amazon. So like things like that, like um I think like things like that. But in terms of like clothes and things like that, I mean, it's just the same. Like I think it depends on the weather and everything. Sorry, I'm probably not giving you really great packing advice right now, so sorry. But that's what I would say. Like anything that you know you really like in the United States, like the collagen powder, or I'm trying to think if there was anything else, certain snacks. Like, oh my God. Also, everyone has been talking about this Trader Joe's seasoning. You can't get that in France. So definitely pack that with you. Everyone keeps telling me about it. So like, that's the first thing I'm going to pack. when I go back to the United States is get that seasoning. But just like little things like that that you know you might not be able to find here, I would pack with you. But like everyday items, you should be able to find here. Is there a clothing? Wait, oh my God, shipping. Oh, the name of the collagen powder is Vital Proteins. It's so good. I love it. Yes, it's the blue collagen powder. It's so funny. So T says, I traveled to Paris several times, and at the time I lived in New York City, but I found them to be a lot more rude than the average New Yorker. That's so interesting because I'm actually thinking of doing a video on Paris versus New York, and I want to talk about so many different things like comparing people, comparing work-life balance, and all of those things. It's interesting that you said that because I almost felt the opposite. Like, I was actually on the phone with an office in New York last week, and when I got off the phone, I was like, wow, haven't felt this type of attitude in a while, but like just this very quick, let me get you off the phone, da 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 da. Like that's what I was feeling from that conversation. Where here it's like I feel like they take their time to try and help you. And I get that the paces are a lot different. Like New York is fast, Paris is a lot slower, but I could definitely feel that like New York state of mind. Like, all right, girl, like here we go, like just quick, rushing you off. And I don't really feel that as much in Paris. But definitely more on this in upcoming videos. So someone says, I was treated rudely by a saleswoman at the souvenir shop right near the Eiffel Tower. She was intentional. She kept following me around and repeating herself. Ugh, yikes. I mean, guys, not to say that people can't be rude. I mean, I feel like you find rude people all around the world. I'm really sorry that that happened to you. So yeah, take what I say with a grain of salt. I mean, we all have different experiences when it comes to moving to a new country, but that's just kind of my 2 cents on the Parisians versus Americans, I guess you could say, based off of like what I've experienced so far. I personally haven't had any like crazy encounters, I would say, but again, there are rude people everywhere, so something to keep in mind. Wow, it's not that expensive in the States. I feel like to really measure, I would need to be a foreigner. Yeah, oh my gosh, July, it's so hot. Okay, guys. Oh, we're an hour in. Okay, cool. Well, guys, that's it from me for today. Thank you so much for being on this live stream with me. It was so much fun sharing your life lessons. And let me know if you guys like this format where I share more of like your stories and things like that. I really do love sharing your stories because it also gives me a lot of insight to what other people have experienced and what they've gone through when moving abroad or just transitioning. This is my jam. I love this life lesson stuff. So I'm more than happy to kind of share when I can. Sorry, I'm just peeking in the chat. Okay. So yeah, let me know if you liked this format. I'm going to try and do more of these. I know that this is my first one. Oh, I actually think this is my first live stream in the new year. I'm going to try and do more of these. Also, make sure to DM me or send me an email with any ideas you guys have for me regarding Patreon or, you know, more of a community setting for you guys. I'd love to help as much as I can. And that's it. So thank you guys so much for watching today. It was so much hanging out with you. Happy Sunday, and I'll see you next week. Bye.